aerobic wastewater treatment, which is the secondary treatment one. Okay, and here we will see about the activated sludge process. One of the treatment process that we can use in the secondary one, it is a activated sludge process. Now these process are divided in different one. It may just like types is mentioned here. It is a conventional aeration process, tapered aeration process, step aeration process, completely mixed aeration process. Okay. So these are the certain types of the activated sludge process. One by one, we will see what is the difference between it. Apart from this, there are the number of activated sludge process is available in market. Okay, the industries are use different type of the activated sludge process. The reason behind why we use the activated sludge process in industry is just because the operating cost and the handling of the influent have good in the activated sludge process, and because of that, and again definitely you will get the good quality, means the conversion is okay in the activated sludge process. So that's why the industries are prepared this type of the activated sludge process in industries. You may visit any type of industry where there is a influent treatment takes place. You always find there is a activated sludge process is available. If they are treating their waste by the aerobic one, most of the times they use the activated sludge process because of the less maintenance cost, handling ability is good, okay, and good conversion of it. So let's see one by one what is the mean by conventional one and what happened in the conventional one. As I said, apart from these four types, you may have the sequential batch type reactor SBR, which is called the SBR, okay, or it may have the contact type, okay, the contacted, okay, it may have some contact types also available. The processes for treatment of the industrial wastewater, okay. Then extended aeration type, the oxidation disk type. So these are the certain types also is used in the activated sludge process. Let's first look about the conventional aeration. Conventional means the old process where initially when the ASP is designed, and that time they got this type of the process. So how it functioning and what is the cons and pros for this process. So first, if you see the conventional aeration process, now you see here in the diagram, okay. So there is a aeration tank. This is the aeration tank, and this is the secondary sedimentation tank. And obviously, we recycle certain active sludge from the secondary sedimentation tank and feed it to the aeration tank. And the reason behind is that we need active microorganisms here. And as some of the microorganisms are uh, it is washed out with the air from the this aeration tank, and it is sent go to this secondary sedimentation tank. So what we do after the sludge which is settled down, that sludge, some part of it is again recycled, so that there should not be in decrease the number of the microorganisms here, and for that one we recycle the sludge. Okay, so what happened here, you see here at the point here somehow there is a the inlet of the influent, okay, and this sludge. So in this one point, and then this sludge is moved somehow here, okay, it move like this one, then it turns somewhere here, and like this one it is out from here. So this is what a conventional process. In this one, we pour the influent at one point and the aeration in the tank at a one point. Because of that, what happened? You see here, we have feed the air at a constant rate. We feed the air at a constant rate in this system. So because of that, what happened? You see here at this point, there is a more oxygen required because the maximum concentration of the microorganisms and the organic matter at this point. So if you see this particular zone, if I divide this one, if particular this zone, okay, in this zone what happened, there is a more demand of the oxygen and more concentration of the organic matter here. And as you move from the input point, then you see there is a less oxygen requirement and less organic matter present, because somehow here there is a treatment, good treatment of the organic matter takes place. So this is the conventional one. Now what is the drawback? If you draw the curve between the what is the tank length, okay, if you draw the curve between the, say this is the length of the tank, and if you find what is the oxygen demand at this point, and if you calculate what are the different points, what will be the oxygen, then you see here somehow here, okay, there is a more requirement of the oxygen here. You see there is a more requirement of oxygen. The curve is going like this one, so this is we call oxygen requirement, okay. So this curve, it is the oxygen required, okay. So this curve shows the oxygen required. Now how much air or the oxygen that we supply the oxygen and air in the conventional process is a constant. So somehow we place the oxygen in this case is like this one, okay, means at a constant rate throughout the length, whatever, if you the supply the air is same, here is same, so we supply the oxygen or air at a same flow rate, at the same concentration, but at this point, at the inlet of it, there is a more demand of oxygen. But how much we supply this much. What is the demand? Demand is this much. So because of this, what happened? As there is some anaerobic treatment may be carried out, or maybe some microorganisms it get killed just because there is a excess loading at this point. So what we do, we move for the another process. Rather than that, we use the conventional one. We found that more oxygen is demanding here, and unfortunately, in the conventional aeration tank, we are not able to feed the demand. How much is the oxygen required as per that one? We are unable to supply. So we make a small change in that. What is the change? Change is that, as we know that from the experimental data, here the point where there is a more oxygen. So can it is possible for me to get a more oxygen at this point? Okay, so there is certain changes in that tank, and that process we call a tapered aeration process. Okay, so we modified that one and we get another method or the process, and this is the tapered aeration. Now, if you see this diagram, okay, again, there is no change in the tank. Aeration tank is as it is. Secondary suspended sedimentation tank as it is. Everything as it is. Only the change is what? The air which we supply the more air at a initial stage. If you see here in this picture, there is a constant air supply. But after this one here, you see at this point there is more air. You see this is, let's see, this is the bubbles, okay, of the air. So here again reduces, here it is reduces, and here again it is reduces. So as we draw the graph between, again if you draw the graph, again we draw the graph, length versus oxygen demand and supply. X-axis x-axis the length, and y-axis it shows oxygen supply and demand. Now in this case, you see here how much is the oxygen required. We require the oxygen more, and then we require the less oxygen. So graph is like this one, okay. And how much we supply in the conventional one? We supply at a constant rate, but here instead of the constant rate, we supply this oxygen. The red line, it shows the oxygen required. This is the required, Okay, and this is the line, it is show the supply of the oxygen. So this line will show the supply, and this one, it means initially what we do, we are have the more aeration point at the initial stage where there is a influent and the sludge is entered, because at this portion there is a more air is required, and as we go move here, then it is a less requirement of the air, and accordingly we reduces the supply, means the more and more diffusers or the mechanical agitators to be kept here in this section, then the less and less one. Because of that, what happened, there is a more accurately, or we can call, there is a more conversion of the organic matter takes place, because the whatever be the demand, accordingly we are supplying the oxygen or we are supplying the air, and because of that one, there is a good conversion of the organic matter into the simple form. Okay, after this one there is another process that we can use here after the tapered process, and the name is a step aeration. Okay, why we are doing this thing, we are try to modify the process, we are try to modify the processes, so that whatever be the problems which we face in the conventional one, we try to modify it. So another process, it is we call it is a step aeration process. Now what happened in the step aeration process, when we are comparing between the conventional process, then the tapered process, and now the step aeration process, here we found that the most of the times that the loading is taking place at the one section somehow here. Okay, so there is a more loading is at this portion. So what we do, we try to distribute the influent as well as the recycle sludge. So we increase the number of points. In the previous one, if you see the previous diagram, in this case what happened, here is the entry point of the influent and the sludge. In the previous case also, you have the entry point here somehow at the one point. But in the step aeration process, we are giving the increase the number of entry point of the influent as well as the sludge. So here, what we do, we give the entry of the influent. Say if you add the influent here somehow, okay, then it will be there at this point, at this point, at this point, and at this point. So what we do, we increase the influent point from one to the many. Because of that, what happened? Because of this, the loading which is takes place at the initial point here somehow, now it get distributed. Now it is what? It is distributed. Okay. So here there is a distribution of the takes place, and because of that, what happened? There is an equal amount of the oxygen that they will get. Okay, and now if you want to draw a graph again, if you want to draw a graph, a length versus the oxygen supply and demand, then you see the oxygen we kept constant. Okay, and there is a fluctuation of the organic matter, because a feed influent is now we are change at a different point. So somehow it may graph is showing the oxygen which is required. In this case, it may be like a zigzag one, a step like. Okay, it means in certain points there is a more oxygen required, because this is maybe the entry point of the effluent. Okay, and then again it got reduces it at somehow another point, and again after sometimes it may be increased at that point, where because there is a influent in from this point. Okay, but here also you will get a good good conversion of the organic matter in this case also. Okay, so we seen the conventional one, then we seen the tapered and the step aeration, and now the last one, it is a complete mix. Now what happened in a complete mix? Now again, here is the what is the problem? Though we are distributing the influent, but again as per the demand and as per the supply, there is a change, because if you see this is the demand. Okay, the red line it shows the demand, and the blue line it is we supplied the oxygen. It means again there is a variation. So for that one, what we do, we have again a solution for it. And what is the solution? In this case, what we do in the next stage, next process. What is the changes? The changes are as completely mixed type. It means in this case we use the you see here it is the recycle sludge. We give the various entry point as well as the effluent. We place it at different points and we are mixing properly so that equal aeration is distributed. It means in this case what we do, we try to give the different influent at a different point as well as the sludge at a different point. In the previous one we are keeping the sludge at one point and only the organic matter, that is the influent, on the different points. Now in this case what we do, we are placing the influent as well as the sludge which is get from the secondary tank, sedimentation tank, in at a different positions, and we have a proper mixing of this one. So in this case what we do, we feed the air at different point as well as we feed the influent at a different point. And from that one, if you draw a curve, then we found the curve is like, if you draw a curve between the length and the oxygen supply. Now you see here somehow the oxygen required is like this one, and what we do, we supply the air. So the blue line is show the constant supply uh, of, demand of the oxygen in this completely mixed tank, and we provide the constant blue line show the constant supply of the oxygen. Okay, and that's why you get a completely all the organic matter which is present can be treated here. Okay, so this is the various types of the activated sludge process that is carried out in industry. Apart from this, if you see, there is another process, as I said, it is a contact stabilization. Now what happened in the contact stabilization, as we know that all these processes have the, it can be converted, we can divide it in the three parts. One part is what activated the sorry, it is the adsorption of the organic matter on the active sludge. Now if you see here in the I just show you the previous diagram. Okay, so what exactly happening in this process is that we will see. Okay, okay, let's look at here. In this case, okay, you just concentrate on this tank. Now this is the aeration tank. It is a single aeration tank. Now in this case what happens, there is a continuous organic matter is enter. Okay, it is enter here, sludge is also enter, there is a reaction is taking place, and we know that in the activated sludge process that the biomass which is continuously generated, not only because of the organic matter converted into the simple form, but the new cell generation and the old cells get died, and because of that continuous increase in the mass of the biomass here continuously increases. So what we do, instead of that one, we try to separate out it, and so that we can reducing the load of the on the tank, on the aeration tank. Because if there is a continuous generation of the mass here, there is a difficulty to get air in it, means the absorption of the oxygen in the waste. So what we do, we develop the one one small changes in that one. We divide this aeration tank. We divide this aeration tank like this one, that a sum of the part I just show you here somehow here. So one part it shows initially part, or we can say rather than this one, I just want to divide this like this one. So let's see the first zone, this zone. Okay, this particular zone is for the adsorption of the organic matter which we are saying in this tank. Where it is adsorbed, it is adsorbed the sludge which we are recycle here. Okay, it means the effluent first, that is the first step, because why we are recycle the sludge, activated sludge, just because there have a microorganisms. If you see, this is the sludge, if you say this is the sludge, on this sludge there is the microorganisms are present. Now if this influent which having the organic matter, if it is absorbed on this surface, then the organic or microorganisms, they start to decomposing the organic matter which is nearer to them. Okay, and again there is a formation of the cell. So that is the first step. Now in this case what we do, we are divided that sections. So how we divided, we divided the first section which we call the return sludge aeration tank. Now what happened in a return sludge aeration tank, the sludge which comes from this one, it will enter here, and in this process we are not supplying oxygen, we are not supplying air or oxygen. So that is only the tank where there is a absorption process is carried out. Absorption process is carried out. And once that process is over and it is required up to the say 30 to 40 minutes for the absorptive phases, and after that one it will be sent to the aeration tank. So this is again we say that the remaining portion. So remaining portion, let's consider this is the portion. Okay. So this is the portion where the aeration is taking place. So we call this is the tank is the aeration tank, and this is the tank, it's the absorption tank where the organic matter get absorbed on the sludge. Because of that what happened? One process is completed and then directly send it where there is a start the organic matter decomposition with the help of the air supply to the microorganisms. So whatever be the load which comes initially throughout this aeration tank, now we can reduce it. Okay. So this is the simplification of the tank, and that's why we call it is the contact stabilization one. So we call it is a contact stabilization. Okay. So that is also the one of the process that we can use, and definitely it will give you a more yield and the conversion of the organic matter.